What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the Go On Fourth YouTube channel. We are back with the Thursday night slate of games, game for DraftKings. The Thursday night game for DraftKings. There's not two, there's just one. Don't panic. So, Thursday night, we do not have to watch the Jets and the Bears. What a fantastic thing this is for the NFL. What a great idea to put two good teams on Thursday that we actually want to watch. Now that I say that, it'll be a 3-0 defensive masterpiece. But everything points to this game being really, really good. It's two teams, division rivals. They are the only two teams competing to win that division, in my opinion, between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Based off of what we saw from the Raiders on Sunday and what we saw from the Broncos on Monday, I don't like either of those two teams right now and where they're at. Now, obviously, they'll get a lot better as the year goes on, but these two teams right now came out of the gates hot. Well, this team came out of the gates hot. The other team, the Chargers played fine. Let's talk about Pat Mahomes. And we are talking mostly cash lineups here. We will sprinkle in some discussions about GPP, but mostly cash. I like Mahomes this week. I like him more as a flex, not a captain, just because of the price. His price is high. And it does take... it takes a lot of work to get him in at captain and still have a really good, solid team around him. Now, the good part about having Mahomes as a captain is if he gets you 38 fantasy points and then the 1.5 multiplier, you're looking at 55, 60 points. You get 55 or 60 points from your captain, you are in really, really good shape. You're in really good shape. Now, I will say for GPP purposes, quarterbacks winning the big GPP tournaments are pretty rare. But quarterbacks like Mahomes that can just break the slate, obviously it's a little more common when you got a guy like that who can just drop 60 fantasy points. Like mad. 30 for 39 last week, 360 yards. Seemed like he didn't even break a sweat against Arizona. Arizona was not very good, but man, Mahomes was great. I don't expect 5 touchdowns again this week. I would expect closer to 3 or 4. You could probably expect him to get 300 yards. You can probably expect them to throw it about 30 or 40 times as well. So I like Mahomes. I don't know if I love his price for your captain role, but obviously he is what he is, and he is going to be great. Justin Herbert is a guy that I like as well. I don't like him as much as Mahomes. I like his price more, but if you're really haggling over 900, it's difficult. I do think Mahomes is probably a better play. Justin Herbert, he played okay against the Raiders. Not spectacular, not bad. He was fine. They won, and that's really all you can say about that game. They won. He didn't throw for 300 yards. He didn't get you your bonus. He didn't turn the ball over, and he ran 4 times. That's about it. So he had a good game. He was efficient. He's down 1 target this week. Keenan Allen is not going to be playing. So it does kind of give me a little bit of a hesitation for playing Herbert as your captain. Now, if you want to get different from the field, I don't hate the idea of playing Justin Herbert as captain because I feel like the field is probably not going to lean towards him in captain. I think it'll be Mahomes, Kelsey, Eckler, one of those 3, more than likely. Obviously, there'll still be plenty of people who have him as their captain, but I don't think it's going to be overwhelming, the amount of people that do. I think this man is going to have an overwhelming amount of people that play him as the captain this week, and for good reason. Travis Kelsey, 8 catches on 9 targets last week, 121 yards and a touchdown. This is, in my personal opinion, not even really a ceiling game for him. This is probably high end. You can't expect this type of production every week, but you can expect 6-7 targets. You can expect anywhere between 70 to 150 yards, and you can expect a touchdown. And it's really something to say you can expect a touchdown from a player. But honestly, the Chiefs look for Kelsey a lot, and they look for him in big moments. They look for him in the end zone. They look for him in the red zone. Travis Kelsey is their go-to guy. He is their number 1 option. And in an offense that is that explosive and that efficient, man, he's a guy that I definitely would consider a captain. He really is. His price is fine. Now, again, you may say, oh, he's $1,200 less than Mahomes. Why wouldn't you just do Mahomes? Dude, I get it. But if you have Kelsey captain, you have Mahomes in your lineup as well, you're going to be fine. Eckler. Eckler, I think, was kind of a weird situation last week. he got plenty of snaps. He saw the ball plenty. 18 touches is a little on the low side for Eckler, but it's not egregiously low. And I do think his opportunities will probably expand this week. His responsibilities will expand a little bit with Keenan Allen being out. I do see him probably getting more of the target share. I think instead of 4, probably 6 to 8 would be my guess for Eckler this week. And I think 14 attempts for 36 yards is not great. But let's be honest, do you really start Eckler for his ability when he takes a handoff? Because if you do, I mean, there's better backs out there in offenses that probably lean a little more run heavy. But I do genuinely think Eckler's a good play this week. I think as a captain, he's fine. I mean, again, the price point is good, right? He is a solid, cheaper captain. Mike Williams is, in my opinion, a good play this week as a potential flex. And he's probably a good captain in GPP lineups just because of his incredible ceiling. I mean, Mike Williams could go absolutely bonkers. He did not last week. He played a ghost game last week. He was completely irrelevant to the game. 2 catches, 4 targets, 10 yards. He was a ghost. That is not going to continue. Mike Williams is too talented, and he has done that before. Let's not forget that Mike Williams has had games before where he just disappears, okay? So, call him Houdini, call him a ghost, whatever you want to call him. But I think this week, he can't afford to have a game like that. They can't afford for him to have a game like that. I think they're going to try to get him way more involved. He's going to be wide receiver 1. He's going to step up to the plate. He's going to have a good game. If you want to play him a captain, I'm happy with that, or I'm fine with that. I would be happy to play him as my captain in a GPP lineup, probably not cash. CEH. This is the first play that I don't like. I do not like CEH. I think he's too high priced for his role last week. And again, 7 carries, 42 yards, that's solid. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. 7 carries is not my favorite. 3 targets, 3 catches, not my favorite. He had 2 touchdowns. So he obviously smashed last week if you played him, right? He's 3 extra salary. He was a great play. But 10 touches in this offense is probably like 15 touches in another offense, right? But 10 touches is 10 touches. If he doesn't stumble into the end zone twice, just find his way into the end zone, then we're talking a completely different story about CEH. If those touchdowns went to Pacheco or McKinnon, then CEH is not even a factor in this game in terms of wanting to choose him. He's not on my radar this week. Things could change in the next 22 hours if we find out that Pacheco and McKinnon both have stomach illnesses. Then yeah, CEH would be in play for me, but he's not right now. Juju is the last guy that I'm going to talk about for captaincy because he is a guy that I'm in on Juju. I'm in on Juju. I was in on him before the season. I thought he's going to have a good season. He had 2 fumbles, and that is a bit of a concern. Hopefully he can rein that in. But 6 catches, 8 targets, 80 yards, I think that is closer to a floor game than a ceiling game for Juju. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. I think 6 catches is pretty much his floor in this offense. I cannot imagine many games where he gets less than 6. I think that's close to a floor. I think he's probably more realistically going to get around 8. Probably average around 8 for the season. I think Juju's a good player. I think he's obviously going to get into the end zone more often than certain other players that scored last week. Last week's game was just vintage Mahomes, just getting the ball to everybody, random players scoring, and that's just kind of the way it was. I do think Juju was unlucky to not score just based off of the amount of opportunities that they had to score as a team. And I like Juju this week at captain as well. So for the sake of this lineup, let's put Juju at captain. Just because I want to show you why I would consider this. Because if I do that, I can get Mahomes and I can get Kelsey. Because these prices are cheap. In terms of Juju saving me, like $6,000, right? So now I've got money to work with. I've got even more money to work with when we talk about the value play this week, which is Trey McKitty. Trey McKitty had 4 targets last week. Now, you could say, oh, well, he was barely on the field. Trey McKitty played 60% of the snaps last week. That's a lot. For a backup tight end in the Chargers offense, which is a pretty capable offense, right? Justin Herbert's going to get people the ball. He's going to give people an opportunity. Trey McKitty, 3 catches, 4 targets. all it really takes is him to have that same game again and just slip into the end zone. And he is a super smash. At 400, there's no risk. I mean, there's really not. You're punting, and he has quite a good upside in my opinion. So going back up, there's guys here. Pacheco, the kickers. I don't know about Matt Amendola, man. I would hesitate on this one. Hopkins, probably fine. It's a kicker play. You know what I mean? What do you want me to say? It's a kicker play. He's probably fine. But when we look at the rest of the slate, in this particular lineup with Juju at captain, we could take Herbert and pair him with McKitty, and then we can just go and get like a Chiefs defense is probably not great. Sony Michel, probably not. Let's go Jerick McKinnon. Let's say, hey, the touchdown CEH scored last week was lucky. McKinnon had 3 catches too, and he slips one in the end zone. Then boom, we smash, right? Obviously, with cash lineups, it's more about your floor than your ceiling, and we do have $1,000 left over to play with. So again, this would probably need to be optimized a little bit. It's not perfect, but this is just the type of thought process that I go through. That doesn't mean I'm going to win any money. It doesn't even mean that this lineup is going to hit. It doesn't even mean this lineup is going to be the one that I use tomorrow. But it's walking through the process, talking about different things in my reasoning, why I think these plays are good plays. And again, tomorrow it may look something completely different. It may look like this. It may end up with Mahomes or with Kelsey. Let's say Kelsey. Let's say Mahomes. And then, another guy I didn't talk about. I do want to talk about this guy. Joshua Palmer, I do want to talk about. He's wide receiver 2 this week. So three catches for four targets and 5 yards is not going to cut it. He's going to have to be more involved. I think he will be. So I think he's a solid play. Let's put him in this lineup. Gerald Everett, I like him too. I don't like him as much as I like McKitty. They had the same targets, the same amount of catches. Gerald Everett got a long catch and a touchdown. McKitty did not. McKitty is just as easily capable of getting that as Gerald Everett. So what are we going to do? We're going to go down here. We're going to put McKitty in the lineup. We have 8K to work with. If I want Herbert, then I'm coming down and I'm including Gerald Everett. I have Gerald Everett, McKitty, Palmer, Herbert, Mahomes, Kelsey. And I don't love having both the tight ends and the wide receiver too. But at the end of the day, if you think the game's going to shoot out, you want as many pieces of the offense as you can get. You want as many pieces of the pie as you can. Let's say that I don't want to include Herbert. Let's say I would rather include Eckler. Then, we're looking at a guy like Mecole Hardman, right? Again, if the game's going to shoot out, you want pieces that are going to have floor. Mecole Hardman, 3 catches, 6 targets. I think he's going to be, a fairly reasonable part of the offense for them. He did get a touchdown. Again, just a random touchdown. What are the odds of that happening again? But if it does, then you're ready. But 6 targets, I think he's going to get more than 16 yards if he gets 6 targets from Mahomes. Just my personal opinion. So, again, you're looking at floor plays and cash. GPPs, go crazy. GPPs, you play MVS, you play, Mike Williams, a captain, whatever you got to do to get different than the field, that's fine. And again, DeAndre Carter, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about him because he did have a fairly good game, also scored a touchdown. He's going to be the wide receiver 3. And, if you like him as a player and you really want to go after him, then be my guest. I don't see a reason why, he's just as good of a play as anybody else at 4,600. I mean, he's fine. He's a good, solid play. Pacheco, I wouldn't. I don't love it just because they were winning by so much. I don't really, and he also fumbled. I would stay away from Chiefs backs just in general. But yeah, I mean, this is the type of lineup that you can build with a Kelsey as your captain. I mean, again, these things are going to be refined. They're going to be optimized by the time that 8 o'clock rolls around tomorrow. This lineup could be completely different and probably will be. But these are just some different options, some different looks. And again, just taking you through the thought process, at least for cash lineups on Thursday night Showdown slates. So all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you didn't, then at least maybe you were entertained ever so slightly. But that's all we got. Stick around the channel, though. Tomorrow there will be a video coming out, or maybe today even, coming out discussing our betting spreads and player props and underdog fantasy. We're gonna go through quite a bit in that video. So make sure you stick around the channel. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Comment, tell me why these teams are bad, why my process is bad, why I'm gonna lose a bunch of money. And all that being said, see you guys soon. Peace.